Hey guys, welcome back to GCC. I'm Damon, and today we got some really interesting news about the upcoming PlayStation 5 from Sony. So Mark Cerny was the lead architect for the PlayStation 4, so he oversaw the development of the actual hardware, and looks like he'll be continuing that role for the upcoming PlayStation 5. Out of pretty much nowhere, Sony decided to drop a ton of information and specs about their new console that they haven't even officially announced yet. So they sat down with Wired.com and did like an exclusive interview and stuff and talked to them about a lot of really cool details. So let's just jump right into it. So here's what we know. The CPU is going to be an AMD Zen 2 chip, so that'll be a 7nm node. The GPU will also be from AMD and also on 7nm, and will be part of the Navi line, like most of us have guessed by now. The console will have its own new 3D audio solution that is designed to increase audio quality and performance much more than in the past. Mark Cerny said that the generational improvements in audio from the PS3 to PS4 were not enough in his eyes. So with the PS5, he really wants to make it a big improvement and something that will make them stand out from their competition. Current PSVR headsets will be supported on the PS5, and it sounds like they're going to do a refresh, maybe come out with the PSVR 2 at some point in the next console generation, but the PSVR headset that we already have is officially supported. Likely will have, the highest possible refresh rates that the standard PS4 and even the PS4 Pro may not be able to support at this time. The console is going to ship with an SSD, so a solid state drive, rather than a spinning hard disk like every other modern-ish console has had. Cerny claims that this SSD will have faster read and write speeds than any other SSD on the market, even in modern desktops and stuff. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they are actually using, whether it's going to be like a PCIe 4.0 SSD that can make use of that extra bandwidth. He demonstrated some fast travel times in Spider-Man on the PS4 Pro versus a dev kit, like an early dev kit for the PS5. The PS4 Pro load times with a spinning hard disk took 15 seconds, and on the dev kit it was reduced to 0.8 seconds. So the entire load time is done in less than a second, which is quite a bit faster than the PS4 Pro. Games will be able to load textures faster, meaning that an in-game camera will be able to zoom across the map and the textures won't be popping in along the way, or you're left with no textures loaded in currently and it's just awful. Here's where it gets pretty nuts. So he said officially that the PS5 is going to support ray tracing, which is a new thing for desktop computers, let alone for consoles. So that's going to be interesting to see how they manage that one. Cerny stated that the console will support 8K graphics, and I want to talk about that later. And for many people, including myself, this was a big deal, but he officially said that the PS5 will be fully backwards compatible with the PS4. So it looks like any game that we have right now for the PS4 will most likely be able to run on the PS5 because of the architecture similarities and the development of the games. So people assumed that this was the case, but it's nice to hear official confirmation about this. So here are some of my thoughts. There's no way that the PS5 is going to be capable of any type of native 8K gaming. Modern AAA games already stress the top and highest tier graphics cards that we have today beyond anything else, and some of these GPUs like the 2080 Ti are over $1,000, so I don't see how they're going to be able to manage something that can maybe double that performance and be within any reasonable price range at all. What I think is going to happen is that the PS5 will be able to output 8K, similar to how the PS3 was able to output 1080p, even though 99% of the games were only supported 720p. So things like the PlayStation menu will potentially be able to be in 8K for those few of you who have an 8K TV. I don't know who you are, I don't know how much money you make, but I guess you'll be able to see the home screen in 8K on your new PS5. I think that to stay competitive, they're really going to have to stay near the $500 mark for a console. Just looking at this last generation, where we had some higher end, like top tier consoles, at that price point, their sales were just dwarfed by the Xbox One S and the PS4. So like the PS4 Pro was dominated by the PS4 Slim in sales, and the same with Xbox One X. The Xbox One S just kills it because it's just more affordable. More people have access to that type of console than something that costs a metric ass ton. So if you're like me, then you may still feel like the PS4 has a bunch of life left in it, although timing wise, the PS5, it makes sense that it's about to come out. It's exciting to hear official word and confirmation about some of the things that we've been like rumoring and speculating about this whole time. The things I'm most excited about are the ray tracing, actually, and the PS4 backwards compatibility. I will be sad to retire my PS4 Pro, but I will be glad to have one less thing on my media center over there. That'll be really nice to still be able to use all of my game library on a new console. Potentially, yeah, we'll see what happens. So what are you guys' thoughts? Are you excited about this PS5? Do these specs get you excited? Because I think I'm pretty excited. This sounds like some really cool stuff. Ray tracing is incredible. Right now on desktop, it's hard to palette the price that you have to pay to get ray tracing. Even with Pascal GPUs now being able to enable DXR, the performance just is not there. It's not worth it. So if you want solid ray tracing on a desktop right now, you typically have to spend $500 or $600 at least to get semi-decent frame rates. So I'm excited to see what they do with that, especially since the PS5 is powered by an AMD GPU. Hopefully those of us on the desktop platform with an AMD GPU will get some ray tracing as well. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited to see what happens in the future with these dev kits getting out there. Like you said, there's more and more dev kits being shipped out to developers right now. So it looks like things are ramping up, and we'll see what happens soon. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.